I'm out here for the long haul. Everybody out here, I appreciate you. Thank you, Orlando. I freaking love you. Let's go.
Steven Wonderboy Thompson. Well, undeniably, you proved tonight you are the #1 115-pound fighter in the world, our UFC strawweight champion. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, the UFC strawweight champion of the world, Carla Esparza.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Please tell me that's on video. I've never been happier.
I'm made for a fucking podcast. We're dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it. Now, I don't have to be Nostradamus to know that, you know, Buckley's going to approach this the way he approached this last night with Ruzabov. Did I say that right? Ruzabov?
I think it's Ruzabov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, he's seen some of your, listen, I feel, everybody feels. Nobody wants to stand with you. Even the guys knocking people out. You're different in a good way. Nobody is a sidekick like you. Every time you do a sidekick, Wonderboy, that's me. I'm like, oh, he did it. He did it again. I fucking love your sidekick. And then they think you're coming in with that. You fucking punch him. My point is, he's going to be explosive, looking to shoot in, take you down, or smush you against the cage. Yeah. You know that going in.
100%.
How do we prepare?
Dude, okay, so number one, I've the last few times I've been really working on my wrestling. Actually, my last fight was Shavkat Rakhmonov. Even though I lost the fight, I was still happy with it because there was a lot of things that I was working on that was working against Shavkat. I thought he was going to stand and strike. He immediately got me to the cage, and he's got good wrestling. He's got really good wrestling. So first and second round, I was defending off his takedown. I was feeling good. He ended up getting me down and taking full advantage of it, but I was like happy with myself that I did the things that I was working on were working. So continue that up, man, with this guy. This guy's not a chain wrestler. You know, he's got a good blast double that he did against, I think it was 2 fights ago. I think his last fight was Vicente Luque. Was it Vicente Luque?
I think Luque was 2 fights ago. It was 2 fights ago for him.
Okay. And so, yeah, he used his wrestling a lot with that guy. But, obviously the guy was 6'5", and it was right there. He got run up in his butt. The thing is, he doesn't really do a whole lot with it. He throws a little bit of ground and pound, but he's not looking for a submission. He's not the type of guy that's, trying to look for a submission to pass guard, to gain position. He's trying to gain points by taking you down and trying to hit you as you come up. So been working a ton. I think I'm pretty confident I can stop A, but when guys go A, B, C, D, E, they start chain wrestling, I have a hard time keeping up. But with Joaquin, he's not that type of a wrestler.
I think, it's funny that Matt talked about no one wants to stand with you. The exhausting, you're bouncing. I've watched you for so many fights, and the way you bounce and move, I've tried doing that just for a second to see how it feels to move like that. It's fucking tiring after 3 bounces. I'm finished. And the fact that you can keep that up for as long as you can, it's just crazy to me, the level of endurance it requires to do this thing that people probably don't even think of just because they're watching you in the cage and it's just your movement. But it really is incredible, your endurance. Yeah,
man. For me, it's like walking. I've done this, man, since as long as I can remember. The way I move, it's just like, well, that's the way I walk. When I move into karate school, I'm pretty much in my fighting stance the majority of the time than I am walking. So it's just second nature to me. So, I built the cardio up in my legs, the lungs to be able to do that, because at any point in time, you have to stay in position to be able to throw a punch. And you see this in guys that are still at the top of the game. Whenever they start to fatigue, they start to walk and they start crossing their feet up, which means they're not in position to throw a punch. And that's how they get caught off balance, get taken down, things like that. So my goal is to try to stay in my fighting stance the whole time. Stay ready to defend the takedown, stay ready to throw a punch or a kick at all times.
And people have talked about, we've interviewed Michael Venom Page, and a lot of people have speculated you guys fighting because it would be such an interesting, you both have such great movement, you're both so infuriating to your opponents, trying to figure you out, you lean in, you pull back, is that have any interest for you? Obviously you have to deal with this fight first, but just stylistically, does that fight interest you at all?
everybody thought that was what I was talking about. They thought I was going to be fighting Michael Venom Page whenever I announced that I had a fight coming up. But no, man, to be honest with you, I think it would be a boring fight. I don't think fans would think it's as exciting as they think it will be, because we're both counter strikers. I mean, for instance, when I fought Tyron Woodley for the second time, we knew each other. Like, we knew each other's game plan. It was a very boring fight. You know, I think it was up there with like the worst fights of the past 2 or 3 years or something like that, because we knew each other. We knew it wasn't that long before we fought each other after the first time. So when we got out there, it was just waiting on each other to throw so we could counter. So I feel like that's exactly what would happen with MVP. We're both sitting out just bouncing, waiting on somebody to do something, you know?
Right.
So I don't think the fans would think it's as exciting as they think it is. So I think the MVP thinks the same way.
That's a great point. 2 counter strikers. One of you has to, if you want to make it exciting for the fans, one of you has to kind of step out of what you really want to do.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't have to do that when you're in a fist fight.
Yeah, I mean, and you're falling into your opponent's game plan to begin with. If one of us decides, all right, I'm going to go at this guy, you know what I mean? So, and we're used to guys coming at us. So that's kind of like our whole game plan. So I don't think it would be exciting.
Do you think of too? A lot of people have said, and again, I know you much prefer to stand. It's just guys like Herb Dean, I've noticed, has gotten very involved with guys on the ground, telling them, "Let's work, guys. Let's work." And I mean, after a certain point, fine. But it seems like where guys are working or are working to secure a position or whatever, it seems like he's really barking at people faster and almost coaching the way the fight should go. Have you noticed that with referees or anything that's happening?
No, I haven't. To be honest with you, I have not noticed that at all. I don't watch a lot of UFC fights, to be honest with you. Yes, I do it for a living, but I don't watch. Do you ever do that, Sarah? Whenever you were fighting, did you ever like just sit down and watch UFC fights?
You know what? It's the only thing I watch. Steve.
Really?
The only thing I enjoy watching. So I always watch. And back then, there wasn't as many. So I'm watching everything. Like right now, I can't. I love it. It's all I watch. I enjoy on a Saturday night when I know this fight's on.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait for your fight. Like it makes my Saturdays complete. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I start the day at my school. I teach my class. And then I'm like, I got to get a nap in. And I get the fights. I love the fights. So, yeah, but there are fighters that just are in it. And I've heard this before. When they're not fighting, they don't watch it. But you're always involved now. Are you teaching classes when you're in camp or no?
I am. I am. It doesn't slow down, man. I don't slow down.
I tell it to my kid Tommy. I got a kid Tommy that's fighting this weekend. My daughter and my wife are fighting Friday night at Madison Square Garden.
No way.
Yeah. Steven knows my family. He's been to birthday parties stuff because Chris Weidman and so Steven's been to some birthday parties and stuff.
Well, tell him I said to kick some behind.
What's that?
Tell him I said to kick some behind.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thanks. Why the fuck did I get into that?
You said something about being in it all the time. You were talking to one of your students.
Yes, thank you. Steven brings me right. He knows my he brings me right back. Yeah, so my kid Tommy works at the school. He's a former wrestler and he teaches at the school. He's working full time. So when he's in camp too, he's teaching the kids class. He's going over and he's constantly just perfecting his technique. You know what I mean? He teaching a no-gi class over here. So when he's not training, he's got his mind in it still. Like when he's not training for himself, he's still technically involved. So you're always I didn't become the fighter I am today until I started teaching. Oh, because there's a certain amount of like understanding of the technique, a little bit more involved with the technique than just doing it. You're taught that day and then you got to go do it in sparring, but you're a little more emotionally involved in the technique and you understand it to a certain level. Yeah, 100%. I feel there's techniques I've been teaching for I'm an old school jiu-jitsu guy. So, I mean, this stuff I've been teaching for 20 plus years and I still find different ways to get it across. And that makes me understand it better by teaching it so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's part of my training as well. It's part of my training, teaching classes.
That's fantastic.
Are you teaching beginners classes or kids? I know you were doing kids classes at one point.
Oh yeah, I teach from white belt all the way up to our junior black belts. So I do teach some teens. I every now and then I run the MMA classes. Usually that's my pops and our wrestling and jiu-jitsu coaches. But every day, man, I'm there. And our summer times is even crazier. Our summers because we got karate camps going on every week. So I'm there 24/7. The only time I'm not there is Sunday. That's it.
Do you guys get hit by the storm at all? Did you have any damage?
Got crushed.
Oh, whoa.
Got crushed by the storm.
Really?
I'm talking like 115 mile an hour winds. It's
Wow.
considered a disaster. Yeah, so we're here in Utah in this beautiful weather, and I'm telling you, it's like every tree around our area is down on somebody's house. You know, people still don't have power out to their houses right now. I think they got power to 500,000 people right now, but the other half doesn't have power.
Is your school did your school or your house flood, or is your properties at least okay?
Property's okay. My property's good. Had some trees fall down, messed up a fence, but nothing we can't handle. My dad, though, he's like out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by trees. So they couldn't get out of their driveway for almost 2 days. It's like every tree around them just fell in their driveway. It was crazy. Yeah, man. Power
But not through the
lines
house,
down.
though. Not through the house.
No, not through the house.
That's
Thank
good. Yeah.
goodness. Yeah. So, I mean, some parts got hit worse than others, but we got hit pretty bad.
Yeah. Were you there when the storm hit?
Nope, I was here in beautiful Utah.
Oh, you came. Oh, because altitude. Is that right?
Yeah.
You wanted to get up there?
Yeah, we were up in Park City, which is a little bit higher than Salt Lake, just to get acclimated. We've been here since last Wednesday.
Yeah, that's got to be.
What's the out? It's higher up there, no?
I think so. This is like over 7,000.
Wait, it's higher than Denver?
Oh no, I don't think it's higher than Denver.
Isn't Denver 5,000? Mile High Stadium was 5,000
Okay.
something.
It might be then.
Maybe
It might be.
Jake would know, our producer.
No,
If
when
it's
they're
7,000,
fighting
it's probably higher.
When they're fighting in Denver, you see everything. It's a whole different card. And
Yeah.
you see everybody gas it out.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Black
It's usually
hole
people
and,
that aren't from Denver that fight that gasses out. You know, you have to get there like 2 weeks early just to get acclimated.
Salt Lake is 43.27 in that area, 42 something. So it's a little less than Denver, but it's still very high. I mean, that's real
Yeah,
altitude.
Park City 6,900.
Oh, so you went way up to train.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
That's really good. You're gonna.
I'm sleeping in back home. I sleep in over 10,000 feet.
Is that
Wait,
worth?
what's that mean?
So I sleep in an altitude chamber. And I got that because I was supposed to fight. Remember Brandon Thatch?
I think yes.
Brandon Thatch.
Yeah.
He had like the mohawk. He was a 170. I was working people, going through studs. I think he got beat by John Fitch and Eric Silva. Then he got cut. But I was supposed to fight him in Denver. Me and Chris Weidman both were supposed to fight. I think he was supposed to fight Luke Rockhold for the first time. And then we were at Hofstra, and we both ended up tearing the cartilage in our ribs at the same time.
God.
So I got the altitude chamber for Denver, and I've been using it ever since, man. The thing's awesome.
You
Wait,
feel it?
so it's you sleep? It's in your bedroom? How does it work?
Yeah, so I have a guest bedroom that I have it's a tent, and I put a bed inside of that tent, and I can crank it up. I think it goes all the way up to like 12,000 feet above sea level. So
Oh,
you sleep in it. Yeah.
You're not sleeping in a chamber like a coffin, like
No. It's like an actual bed inside of a tent that pumps in air at that level.
You
So,
feel
like,
you're- I'm sorry, Jimmy. You feel like you're having trouble breathing in there? Or is it like
Now, you can't go straight. You have to work your way up. So I'll start at like 2,000 and go up like every week until I hit like over 10. And then I'll stay right there. So if I go up too fast, I won't be able to sleep. I'll wake up with headaches, so I've already tried it. So it's if you stay in there, if you crank it all the way up right off the bat, you're not sleeping at all. You're not recovering.
So what do you do if you have to pee? Do you got to get up and leave the tent, and then the altitude drops again?
Yep. No.
Yes.
So I'll unzip it really fast, zip it back up. So it's not too bad. I'll do 22,000 feet for an hour before I go to sleep at night. So I've got a mask and I got a little extra thing that hooks up to it, and it will crank it up to 22,000 feet.
Do you sleep with the mask on or no?
No, I don't. But when I go up to 22,000, I'll sit there and watch TV, and I'll have the mask on, or I'll play video games with the mask on. I'll do 5 minutes on and 5 minutes off. You literally get high off of oxygen.
But you breathe. Is it much harder to breathe with it off?
No. So it's easy to breathe because it's pushing air into your face. It's just that air has less oxygen in it. So you start feeling like a little tired, like you're about to fall asleep, your eyes get heavy. But when you take the mask off, it's like, oh my goodness, you're just a new person.
Oh, okay. So 22,000 feet with it on, and then normal with it off.
Right.
Always fun to talk to you, man.
Yes.
And what a great fight this is. You against Joaquin Buckley. You look great. You seem like you're in a great place. So, as always, looking forward to it. And we talk to you again soon, okay?
You got it, guys.
Give your dad our best.
You got it, Jim. You got it, Matt.
Tell
See you,
your
brother.
dad.
Y'all have a good one, guys.
Tell
All right,
your
buddy.
dad I said hello, please.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir. Bye-bye.